It's time for our commentary, and we look ahead to next week's GOP primaries in Arizona and Michigan. Lars and David answer this question. Is Rick Santorum a viable presidential candidate?
Straight talk from the right and from the left.
Here's Rick Santorum's problem. Okay, here's one of Rick Santorum's problems, which is also a problem for any other Republican candidate. Being viable in a Republican primary is not the same as being viable in a November election. So in a Republican primary, you can charge that President Obama's religious beliefs are not what they should be, and that prenatal medical care is just an excuse for an abortion, and that minorities are happy to live on food stamps, and your audiences are thrilled. Those positions are just what the people who appear at Midwestern Republican caucuses want to hear, no matter how much money Mitt Romney is spending. In November, when minorities, young voters, and more women are actually voting, those positions won't help, even if you spend the entire autumn cutting back to the middle like a wide receiver. Santorum may have discovered that in 2006, when he lost his Pennsylvania Senate seat by 18 points, a record for an incumbent senator, and lost women by 22 points. A showing that would be politically fatal even if there weren't only two sexes. So is Rick Santorum a viable presidential candidate? Do you mean in February or in November?
Now, straight talk from the right.
Is Rick Santorum a viable presidential candidate? Of course he is. And that's why he's winning presidential contests around America and why he's topping the polls in places like Washington State. But if you like, let's start with his deficits. He's served as a U.S. senator and not a governor, and that's a deficit. Governors have experience running huge government operations. Senators don't. Santorum has some attitudes about trade and tariffs that I don't like, and when he was a senator, he seemed to bring home the bacon to his constituents just a little bit too much, since I think we need to cut down the size of government. On the positive side, Santorum is a real social conservative, and Republicans have waited a long time for somebody like that. He's saying the right things about the budget, about energy, about jobs, and about America's position in the world. And he's proof positive that when Republican voters are offered a real conservative instead of the rhinos like John McCain, they'll cast their ballots for him.